So here is a breakdown on food and your personal diet. We've spoken about calories, how they count, and working with clients all over the world, I have established a couple of ways that align with my morals and the way that you are actually going to achieve results along with the methods. So I'm going to give you two options as to how you can track your food, because there's the very detailed way, which is going to get you the more accurate results, and then there's the slightly less detailed way, which is still going to get you results, but they're not going to be as scientifically accurate. And then just remember though, because you're probably all thinking, oh, well, screw that, I want to do that one. But actually, the further option is this all got too much. You skipped this and you went off track. So if you feel like this super accurate one is going to be too much for you, I want you to stay at this level rather than being at this level, which is where we are now. So I want you to listen to both options and see which one resonates with you the most in terms of what's going to be most sustainable for you. Option one is that you use your own specific calorie and protein requirements that we've sent you to take you to your goals. And as I said in the previous video, calories are literally a unit to measure energy. So carbs and protein both have 4 calories per gram, and fats have 9 calories per gram. And the aim for each day is to stick to this as closely as possible in terms of the numbers that we've given you, so that over the course of the week, you have an average of your daily times 7. So it doesn't matter if on one day you went slightly over and the other one you went slightly under, but over the course of the 7-day period, I want you to make sure that they average out to be on track every day. Without being too blunt, if you go over, you will hinder your progress, and if you go under, you will likely lose weight faster. But I won't say that that's going to accelerate your progress, because if you go too low, you're going to be too restrictive, not have freedom, and likely end up binging at some point over the weekend or earlier on in the start of the next week. The calories that we set for you will enable you to have all the foods that you want whilst being able to adhere easily to the deficit well enough to lead to sustainable weight loss, or enough calories to actually elicit the muscle gain that you're after. And again, use the recipes for inspiration, but don't feel like you need to reinvent the wheel. It's already something new that you're doing here by tracking your food and monitoring your food intake, so ease yourself into it and don't feel like you need to be the next master chef in the process. An app isn't 100% required, but it definitely gives us the best opportunity to be super accurate and predict results in the most mathematical, scientific way. And if we're guessing, we are still likely to get results, but again, maybe not in the time scale that you want and that you've planned, because there's a lot more room for error. So think of tracking like the sat-nav analogy that I've given before. MyFitnessPal is your sat-nav. So you use your sat-nav for the first 2 or 3, or for me, if you're geographically disabled, 10 times of a new journey, and over time, you will start to remember the route without your sat-nav. So your health and your food tracking is really no different. Using your sat-nav is just a sensible option. It gets you to your destination much quicker than intuitive driving ever will. But over time, you obviously won't need your sat-nav. And yeah, calorie counting, I see it in exactly the same way. At first, you do need it. You're embarking on a totally new journey and something new for your life. You need some direction. And yes, of course, you can get there without it, but you may get lost, have to ask 5 randomers and do a U-turn about 6 times along the way. But over time, if you pay attention, you know what's in your food without using the app. So those who preach intuitive eating over calorie counting, they know what's in their food. They've paid attention to their sat-nav for years and years and years, and now they're roaming free. So don't get caught up and confused into thinking that calorie counting is bad. It's simply an amazing tool that we have in the modern day technological world, and that will tell you exactly what you're putting into your special body. And yeah, fine, it's a bit annoying to do. Just like sitting in your car, programming your sat-nav, your destination can be a bit annoying as well. But you know that you need to do it, and you know it's a means to an end, and you know that eventually you won't have to do it, and it makes your whole life more productive. So that's all I'd say. Now, the other option is to forget calorie counting and to not even go in there. That doesn't mean that calories don't count, because remember that they do, but there's other ways to skin a cat, as they say. There's other ways to create a calorie deficit. So this is by using one of our meal plans, and it applies the exact same method. It puts you in a calorie deficit, it enables you to lose fat, just with a little less flexibility, which sometimes people enjoy, especially at the start. Because like I said, this is a whole new journey for you. So sometimes you want that little bit more direction. It tells you exactly what you're doing, so there's no room for maybe slacking off. And this is often the route that people go down, so that's why it's now available as an option too for you. The first task for you is to complete your survey, where you're going to be filling in some basics and telling us which option you're going to go for, calorie counting on MyFitnessPal or using our meal plans. And then we will direct you into the resources that you need to hit your goals your way. And don't worry, because we can always change this. I'm there in the Facebook group for your support. So we will discuss this the whole way along and how it's going to work for you. And if anything needs to change, don't you worry, we will change it. Just remember, don't quit and don't hide.